Good afternoon, everybody. Chase Tressler, Innovation Outdoors. Today I'm going to do a quick video on cleaning some snares, boiling your snares. I've been seeing some coyotes on my trail cams I put out about a week ago. It's only mid-July here in the Ozarks, but I've got some trail cams over my food plots, just kind of seeing what's going on. And I've seen some coyotes running. So today, while I was at the local co-op, I saw they had some snares in stock in the trapping section, and it was kind of a sign for, because it had already been on my mind. The hay's been tall and the grass is tall, so I've not been seeing them on, the coyotes running out here on the property or moving around. But, now I want to dispatch them. So anyways, I picked up some new snares, and when you get them, whether you build them out of new wire or you buy them pre-made like I did, they're going to have kind of a shiny, a nice shine to them from this new cable. And then, the collars and stuff, the hardware that they use to build them is going to have some oils on them. So what you want to do to get rid of, the scent from manufacturing, wherever they were built, and then to get the shine off of them, to get them down to a duller look, so they're not as noticeable to the predators you're trapping, especially coyotes. They've got, good eyesight, a good sense of smell, stuff like that will deter them. Just like a leg hold trap, you really got to, dot your I's and cross your T's when you're after coyotes. So just take some water and bring it to a boil. I use an electric skillet and a little pot. I use this same setup for making my deer blocks, boiling down my molasses and stuff. I do this outside on my cleaning table here, just so I don't make a mess in the house and my wife doesn't get after me. But take that, and then you need to get some baking soda, and I put, I'll put a couple tablespoons in here. See there, I would have made a mess in the house. It doesn't have to be an exact science, but put a couple tablespoons, 2 or 3, 4. No, it doesn't really matter. You can't really use too much. And let it come to a boil. And I don't bring it to a hard boil. I just kind of let it more or less a good simmer. And then all you do when you get the baking soda in there and it's boiling is you take your snares, and I'm just going to drop them right in this water here. I got my tool here to kind of push them down. On this pot, I could have used a bigger pot, but like I said, I use this for a lot of stuff. And as long as they get in there, get covered in the water good, it's really all that matters. The baking soda, what it does, it helps neutralize the scent, but the main thing, it'll take the oils and stuff off your snares, and it'll dull the finish on them. So you'll put it in there. And then another little tip is, if you're using your tie wire or your stove wire, whatever, to tie the snares up, it'll come, if you buy it new, if it's not been out in the elements, it'll come with an oil on it. So if you can take your little roll of it and drop it in there too with your snares and let it boil. And you'll want to let this boil for probably 10-15 minutes, and then you'll pull them out and rinse them off and hang them up and let them dry. So I'll be back. I'll let this boil for a few minutes, 10 minutes, and then we'll check them out. I'm letting this boil, just keeping it boiling. But another thing I was going to tell you too, while I'm letting it boil, is another thing you can do, and my grandpa used to do this with a lot of his leg hold traps and different traps, is you can take these cedar leaves or cedar limbs, and you can line the bottom of your pan with cedar, put some water in there, and bring it to a boil, just like this right here. Put it in the bottom, put a layer down there, and then put it over your traps after you put them in the water. Let it boil, and that cedar, they say, will get the scent on your traps. It'll kind of scent it. And then there's an oil that comes out of these cedar limbs and leaves that will darken and kind of dye the traps also, get them a darker color. My grandpa used to do that, but he would leave them in. If you're going to do that, I think the process takes a little bit longer. He would leave them in for 3 or 4 hours, let them boil like that, then take them out and rinse them. But it worked pretty good. I don't really need to do that. This darkens them up and takes the shine off of them enough. But just another tip if you want to. I've thought about putting cedar in with the baking soda, but it kind of defeats the purpose of the baking soda, because that's one of its effects, is to neutralize the odors. So if you're putting cedar in there and baking soda at the same time, it probably won't do much good. But that's just another little thing to think about. We got just a few more minutes here to boil. I'm going to kind of show you what we got here. You can see the wire in there and the snares. So still boiling. Like I said, this is my little setup, just a pot, an electric skillet. But we're gonna let it boil a couple more minutes, and then we'll pull it out of there. All right, it's been I gave it about 15 minutes or so. I'm gonna go ahead and pull them off. First thing I'm gonna do, turn my skillet off here, unplug it just to be safe, and then I'm just gonna pull these out of here. Be careful, don't get no boiling water on you. I'm just gonna pull them out, set them to the side. I'm gonna take my wire out also that I kind of boiled in there with them. Now you don't have to do this. I personally like to. I like to take some regular water, just kind of rinse them, give them a little rinse down. Kind of rinse the residue and stuff off of them. And then once I've got it rinsed up like that, I'm just going to take them. Grab this here for you. I'll take them. Still pretty hot. Actually, they're not bad. You know, rinsing them off so I can handle them. Just gonna run them over here like this. Hang them up and let them dry. You know, and they're still pretty shiny. You can see. But here in 15-20 minutes, that shine will kind of fade out. I'm just gonna go up here, got a little wall here, hang them right there, hang my wire up inside the building there. I'm just gonna let them dry and then come back here in about 20 minutes or so. That shine should be off of them. They're good and clean. Let them air out and then they'll be ready to go. You know, I appreciate you guys watching, and just a little tip for today: if you're a deer hunter, turkey hunter, and you are not doing some type of predator patrol, especially coyotes, you really need to be thinking about doing that. It'll really help, you know, your deer and your turkey population. So you guys have a great weekend.